What's up, you guys? I'm sitting under my Christmas tree for the Mercury Retrograde wrap-up. We are at the end of Mercury Retrograde. It started at November 17th. It started on November 17th, and then it's going to end on December 6th. So this is the 4th, 5th, 6th. So we're about to wrap this up right now. And it actually has gone retrograde from 13 degrees of Sagittarius to it's backing up to 27 degrees of Scorpio, where it's at right now. And so what does that mean? So Mercury retrograde is the planet of communication and like ideas, intellect, talking, expression. It's the ruler of the signs of Gemini, which is about thoughts and kind of impulse, and Virgo, which is all about kind of integration and then taking an action and completing a task. So when Mercury goes retrograde, what that means is that we, because of our planet's relative orbits, sometimes we're inside the orbit, sometimes we're outside the orbit. It creates this optical illusion in the sky that, it seems to be going across the south sky, and then every once in a while it will seem to back up and go, back towards the east, and then it'll start going west again. So the planet's rotation doesn't actually, change. Oh, I'm out of focus. The planet's rotation doesn't change, it's just where we are in our relative orbits. It kind of gives this optical illusion. And so the theme or the idea is that Mercury goes retrograde, communication backs up. It kind of, we have to go over areas or thought patterns or choices over again. Like, oh, did I really mean to make that decision? Or, oh, I made this course of action happen, and now I'm having to go back and relook at some things, or some new details are popping up, or whatever is the case. And so the traditional wisdom for Mercury retrograde is, don't sign contracts, don't make any long-term decisions, because the idea is that your mind is going to change your thoughts, your pattern of thinking right now. So when Mercury retrograde happens, it's like communication gets backed up. Sometimes it's hard to speak. Sometimes it's hard to kind of receive and understand things. So just kind of between people, miscommunications can happen, and conversations can get escalated, and things can kind of get to a crazy point of, whoa. So anyways, this Mercury retrograde that is wrapping up right now, it's gone from Sagittarius, which is kind of about taking all of your life's experience and kind of following your own path, heading towards your own truth. It's about kind of a bigger philosophical idea than, a more global perspective, rather than its opposite sign of Gemini, which is a more local perspective, or a more kind of day-to-day point of view. So this whole kind of Mercury retrograde to me is wrapping up. We're dipping back into Scorpio, which I'm going to post about 5 videos in quick succession here, but going back into this element of Scorpio, which has been this transformation over the last year. Jupiter has shifted from Scorpio into Sagittarius, and with this moon cycle and with Mercury retrograde dipping back into Scorpio, it's almost like, now all these changes have kind of affected everybody's lives globally and also personally over this last year. But then now we're kind of we're evaluating that. Where am I at now? Where have the pieces fallen? Has the phoenix risen from the ashes? Is it time to pick what's on the other side of the changes that have kind of happened? The transformations that Scorpio energy has brought us over the last year. So this particular Mercury retrograde for me has been, has been very crazy. I feel like I'm usually oh, it's not a big deal, Mercury retrograde or whatever. Like this summer was the last time I posted on my blog, and I was getting drunk in California. So you know what I mean? I was fine. But this one is a bit, I've been every little thing, I'm I have this anxiety. Is it right? Is everything right? Oh. But yeah, so this concept, has the pressure that we've been under this year or whatever to make changes, have we made the changes necessary, or are we still trying to resist change? My cats are fighting over there. Anyway, so have we resisted the changes? Have we leaned into the changes? This whole Mercury retrograde that started November 16th, cool it, started November 16th and ends on December 6th. This is a reevaluation. You know what I mean? We're at the beginning of a new phase, and this is the part where we look back on the old phase and go, oh, like here's what changes lined up. Here's what's happened. So that's my hot take on Mercury retrograde. So the idea of Mercury retrograde is that now that we're coming to the end of it, this is actually the end of part 2. Because Mercury passes all the way up to, Mercury's going through the sign of Scorpio, then it goes through Sagittarius. And so it gets to 13 degrees of Sagittarius and then backs up to Scorpio, 27 degrees. And then comes back. So we've gone to that point, and now we're at the end of part 2, and now this is like the integration. Like what have I decided? What is happening? What is moving on from this? And so I think part of this Mercury retrograde is also integrating what happened during Venus retrograde, which is a lot during October and November, which is in the other video. So yeah, this is a big like looking back and kind of seeing what steps have been taken. But we're going to have some other energies that are all about looking forward. So coming up. So, we're going to be moving forward after December 25th. We're going to be breaking into new ground once we break into 14 degrees of Sagittarius. Oh my God, these cats. So, anyways, it's Mercury retrograde. My cats are normally these angels, dude. Okay, so, yeah. It's a reevaluation. We're taking stock on kind of like the whole last year and the changes that were brought about by Jupiter and Scorpio. Cool. I'm going to make this other video right now. Blah.